Hi, and welcome to our quarterly Q&A with trainingauthors.com. I'm Shelly Hitz, and I'm joined today with my business partner, Heather Hart.
Hi.
We're glad that you have joined us, and I'm going to go ahead and get started into the first question. All right, the next question I have is from CY. And they say, I understand if you decide to write a book and publish to Kindle, a well-designed book cover is important. My question, where does one go to get a well-designed cover? I also notice, Shelly and Heather, your book covers are superb. How or where do you guys go to get such great book covers? And this is a great question because it is so important when you're publishing a book to make sure that you have a quality cover, something that is, eye-catching, something that the colors, coordinate with each other, that the fonts that are chosen are good fonts for book covers and so forth. And so again, we cover this topic in our book, Self-Publishing Books 101, which is free and available on most ebook platforms. But I just want to cover a few things on what makes a good cover. And the first thing that we normally do is we brainstorm a concept. So we know we have, the book title or the book, something. Even if we don't have the official title, we know the subject that it's going to be. And so we start brainstorming concepts. And I love working with Heather because she helps me, and that's happened so many times, hasn't it, Heather, that we just bounce ideas, and that's how we end up coming up with an idea for a cover.
Absolutely. Two heads are definitely better than one when it comes to making book covers.
Yeah, and so, when you're working with your book cover designer, or you're working with an outsourcer, or somebody, maybe it's even just a volunteer that you're working with, or someone on Fiverr, or whoever you're working with for your book covers, it's great to be able to have a little bit of a back and forth in a brainstorming session, look through some different royalty-free graphics. So that's the next step after we brainstorm some concepts. We'll look through some royalty-free graphics. And we typically use Fotolia, and Fotolia also has a new company called the Dollar Photo Club, and the link to that is on our resources page if you're interested. And so, just start looking through different images and ones that we know we can have the rights to use those photos, and that brings up more ideas. And so, your designer, if you work with a designer, like several of my books, especially my books in the beginning, I worked with a graphic designer, Megan Six, and she and I would go back and forth. She would come up with a concept, and she would bring it to me, and then I would say, oh, I don't know if I like that one. How about something more like this? And she would go back and look for more images. So sometimes it's your designer that's looking for these images, sometimes it's you. But, you just look for some images that you can use on your cover. Now, depending if it's fiction or nonfiction, it's going to make it a little bit different. I would research on Amazon some of the top-selling books in your niche and see kind of what those covers are looking like, what's the general feel, theme, fonts, those types of things, and see what catches your eye, what do you like, and so forth. One thing that we've been using lately, and I didn't know that I would ever be interested in doing this, but we've actually used ebook cover templates for a few of our books. And Heather's husband is a graphic designer, and for the Self-Publishing Books 101, for the new cover, we started with a template, and he was really impressed with it, wasn't he, Heather?
He was. He's like, who did your cover? I didn't help with that one.
Yeah. And so sometimes Heather's husband helps us, which, it's nice to have a husband that's a graphic designer, but, for that one we used a template. We started with a template, and then we edited it and made it our own. We added our own images, and we customized it. But starting with a template can really help you with the process. And you can give that template to someone on Fiverr or your graphic designer, and they can change the colors, they can change the, how things are laid out and all of that. And so we've been using templates from CoverMania, which we do sell on our site, and you can find it on our courses page, trainingauthors.com/courses. And you do need to know how to edit a Photoshop file, either with GIMP or Photoshop, or hire someone that will do it for you. Now, over the years, I have learned how to use Photoshop. I still don't know it to an expert level, but Heather and I both have, basic graphic design skills that we can make, graphics for our blog and for social media and things like that, and it really does come in handy. If you're interested in learning, we recently purchased the rights to a course that teaches you all the basics of Photoshop, and it's called PS Instant Expert. And it's where you can learn Photoshop for yourself. If you're interested, it does take a lot of time and effort. So you may just want to hire someone and get an outsourcer for that. However, that's also on our courses page if you're interested. And we also have a bunch of information on our outsourcer page on our website. And the way that you find that is you go to the trainingauthors.com, and across the top there's a resources tab. On that drop-down menu, you'll see a link to recommended outsourcers, and they have a whole list of things that you'll see, recommendations for graphic designers, for who to to hire to do your book cover, and you'll find, maybe it'll give you some ideas, maybe you'll find someone there that can help you, and so I encourage you to check that out. The link is trainingauthors.com/recommended-outsourcers-for-authors. But like I said, you can just go to our site, the drop-down menu for the resources tab will have it, or just in the search bar, type in outsourcers, and you'll find it. Did you want to add anything, Heather?
No, I think that's really good. I think when you do create your cover, you just want to make sure that it is eye-catching and not just slapped together, because it is the first impression that people get about your book. So it's worth going the extra mile and doing it right, and either paying to have it done or learning how to do it well.
Yes, exactly. And I would get feedback. So you can now anymore you can get instant feedback on social media. You can post a couple covers and say, hey, which one do you like better? What do you think? Or in an author group, I think that's a great place to get some initial feedback. Find an interactive Facebook group that is, of authors, and say, hey guys, what do you think of this cover? So you can get feedback initially and, know, am I on the right track if you are working with a designer and or doing it yourself.
Absolutely. So,
well, we are excited that we're doing this quarterly, and we're doing this for you. Because you guys have followed us, you're on our newsletter, you follow our blog, and we appreciate you. We really do. And the goal that Heather and I have for this site is to help authors. And so be looking for our next quarterly Q&A. We don't have a date set yet, but it will be sometime in the next quarter. And any questions that you have, this is your time to ask them, and we will answer them for you. And we're excited, to be able to offer this for you guys and as a service to you for everything, just a thanks to you for everything. So, all right. Well, this is Shelly Hitz and Heather Hart from trainingauthors.com. Thank you for joining us in our second quarterly Q&A, and be watching for our next one coming up next quarter.